Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Cutting Through the Bullshit. I am your host, Dr. Stephanie Snyder, and I am a high-performance mentor. Through my unique blend of strategy, mindset, and intuition, I help men and women to cut through the BS in order to create the life and business they desire. I'm excited for this topic. I talk about this topic probably a lot, but there was a different take that I had come through yesterday, and so I wanted to touch on this, and it's about breaking habits or creating new habits, right? Like, there are things in our lives that we think, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. This is not good for me. This is not healthy for me, but it's become habitual. And I just want to let you know that that's very common. About 95% of our day, according to some studies, is habitual. That means when you wake up in the morning, you go through the same routine. You go to the bathroom, you brush your teeth, whatever it is, it becomes very habitual. You essentially operate on autopilot. That's what your brain wants to do. It wants to use as little energy as possible. So sometimes you'll get fatigue and exhaustion when you start to incorporate new things because it's causing your mind to actually have to think about something. To do something different, and that can be a little bit of a stressor for our brain, makes us a little bit tired when we're starting something new. This is very, very typical. So the thing that was coming up for me yesterday when I was thinking about this was the idea that the things I don't want to do or that I'm trying to break the habit of, I make harder for myself. Yes. So when I am using that 5% of my brain that is conscious at the time and not running on autopilot, I will make things difficult for myself because I don't want it to be easy, because if it's easy, I'm going to do it. This is why when you open the refrigerator or you open the cabinet and the bag of chips is there, it's easy to grab a bag of chips and open the bag of chips. So what I like to do is I will also wash the fruit and make the fruit just as easy to grab as a bag of chips, right? Conversely, this is something that I didn't get drunk this weekend, but I did drink a few nights in a row that I typically don't. Usually I don't drink during the week. But I was reflecting on it and I told myself I did it because it was so easy. It was so easy. So I like to have Tito's with a cran mango juice. It's delicious. I love it. It's really yummy. I will intentionally not buy cran mango juice on a Sunday because then it's super easy for me to make that drink Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And so I don't. I also make sure that there isn't an open bottle of wine. Now, that doesn't mean that I binge drink all weekend, but I don't open one if I finish it on Saturday, like on Friday. I don't open another one because if there's an open one in the fridge, it makes it easy for me to just grab it and pour myself a glass of wine. And I prefer not to drink during the weekdays because I'm up early with the kids. When my husband's traveling, I don't want something to happen, God forbid, and I have had a drink that night, kind of a thing. So I'm very diligent about this, where I don't make it easy for myself to pour myself a glass of wine, to pour myself a drink at the end of the day, right? I don't want to do it, so I make it harder for myself. Well, the opposite is also true. If I want to do it, I make it super easy for myself. So if I am starting a new training program, I make it super easy where before I go to bed, I know, okay, I'm waking up at 6 a.m. Here's the workout that I'm doing. Okay, easy, done, right? I also know that I hate going to the gym. It's not fun for me. I don't enjoy it. I don't know what I'm doing on most of the equipment, and I don't need that accountability to do my workouts. So I never make a plan that requires me going to the gym. I just don't. Do I go swim in a pool? Yes, but I don't weight train in a gym. So I have free weights at home because I am more apt to do it at home than I am if I have to drive myself to a gym. That's not going to happen. I just won't do it. It's too hard for me to do it that way, and so I make it easy. So if I have a training plan that I'm following, or if I'm doing, an online video one, I know what I'm doing the night before so that I know, okay, here's how much time I need to allot for this workout so I can get it done before my day starts. And it's about making it easier for myself. So when it comes to things like being consistent with my podcast or showing up on social media, I make it easy for myself so that I don't have a bajillion excuses as to why I can't do it. Because we are incredible at overcomplicating things. We are. We're awesome at overcomplicating things. This was something that I talked about on a previous episode where I talked about when I first started training for a triathlon, I was using my beach cruiser. I made it easy for myself because if I had made it complicated, I would have never done it. And this is what we do to ourselves. We overcomplicate something for a number of reasons. One reason may be that we feel we're not worthy of it, we don't deserve it. Another reason may be, we really just don't want it. And so we make up all these excuses as to why it's difficult to do it, right? And it can be a number of reasons we procrastinate all these things, right? And it's mostly because we've overcomplicated it on some level. We've made it too difficult to obtain. And so there is a million things that we feel like we have to do before that thing can take place, when in reality, there's a really simple way to do all of the things. Somebody else has probably done it before you and has done it multiple times since then, and so it has been simplified. Don't knock the simple answers. There is power in the simplicity. Which is why one of my taglines for a long time was, motherhood is complicated, your business doesn't have to be, right? And I helped my clients to streamline their businesses and simplify them so it was easy to say yes to that every day. If you make it complicated, it's going to be hard for you to say yes to, right? So imagine, okay, if you had to install an engine every time you went to drive your car, chances would be that you would probably not drive your car. You'd probably find a different mode of transportation, right? Same thing with my phone. If there are apps that I find myself getting sucked into, I will set time limits on it, and it will take extra steps for me to continue to use it. But typically, if I have to enter my screen time password, I know I've spent too much time on that app and it's done. And I need to move on to something else, right? And so I set up these things because I'm honest with myself and I know, hey, I can get stuck swiping through TikTok for too long. And so I have app limits on them. I give myself anywhere from 15 to 60 minutes depending on the app and the purpose, right? Some of the apps that I use more often where maybe I'm writing a post, whatever, they have a longer app limit because it's going to take a bit longer for me to maybe work on a post that I'm writing. But I have these things set up so that I can continuously succeed. The things that I want to do, I make easy to do. This podcast, for example, right? I told you from the very first episode here of whatever, I don't even know. I'm on season 3 because I've had 3 different takes of this one episode. Not episode, rather, this series. I guess, I don't know, this show, whatever it is, right? I'm on season 3. And my previous seasons, I did have a really cool intro and I was editing stuff and I was doing this and I was doing that. And I forgot how to do all of that stuff. And so I had to make it easy for me to do. So all I do is I hit record on this QuickTime player on my Mac and I upload that audio. And it's 100% real and raw. You get the background noise, you get all of the stuff, but I had to make it easy for myself to commit to, otherwise I wasn't going to do it. Now, when the kids go back to school, will I maybe add a nice intro and extra and have all the different music and maybe edit? Yeah, maybe. But right now, I just love the way that it's going. Same thing with YouTube, right? I recently started sharing these videos to my YouTube channel. There is no editing involved. I upload the video from this podcast to my YouTube. I make a little picture of it on Canva, And I mean, that's what it is. I give it a title on Canva and I just go with it. It had to be simple for me to do it. Otherwise, I was going to overcomplicate the crap out of it and I was not going to do it. And I know that about myself. So again, any sort of area that I'm working in, I have to streamline it and simplify it. Otherwise, I'm not going to do it. I have a million excuses as to why I can't. And they're at the ready, right? 4 of them live with me. So I have plenty of reasons as to why I couldn't do something if I overcomplicated it. And so I simplify it. What's the easiest thing to do? Can I spend 20 minutes doing this thing? Yeah, cool, perfect, great. But I started by getting really honest with myself. What were the things that were taking me out? But when I overcomplicated anything, that was taking me out. If I had to do a weight loss program and count calories, game over. Wouldn't have done it. Not a chance. But the weight loss programs, the nutrition programs that I've followed in the past, whether it was losing weight from babies or, whether it was, really just cutting back and honing in on my nutrition, the easiest thing for me to do was have a list of approved foods and then highlight the foods that I actually already ate and made those recipes. And it was easier to follow. Were there days that I craved the sugar? Yeah, absolutely. But it was easier to follow. This is also why I have a protein shake for breakfast. Because when I'm making breakfast for the kids, there is not necessarily a bunch of time for me to sit down and enjoy my meal. So I pack my morning with a protein shake that I love, starts my day off, and then I have a nice lunch when I can sit and enjoy my day, right? Then we all sit down for dinner, or whatever it is. I have to make it easy, otherwise I won't do it. So the only reason, I don't want to say only, but one of the main reasons that you may not be creating success in an area that you want is because you've overcomplicated it. And that goes back to the previous episode, one of the previous episodes where I talked about your excuses are bullshit. You've overcomplicated it in some way, shape, or form, and it needs to be streamlined. When you can streamline it, when you can make success simple, it becomes replicatable. And not even the sky's the limit, right? So, I'm sending you so much love. I am batch creating today, so I will be doing another episode here in a minute. But as always, well, before I even get there, if you are interested in checking out more about me, you can go over to Instagram, Stephanie Snyder Ph.D., or you can head over to my website at stephaniesnyderphd.com. I am there. All of my social media links are on there as well. You can also check out my YouTube that is linked to the website. Stephanie Snyder PhD, on all the channels. Stephanie Snyder PhD, if you just search that, that's where you'll find me. And I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day. And as always, be you, because the world needs more of you. Bye!